shot clock violation, which led to Vooch's game-winning shot. So we're going to pay some bills. We still have a lot more to talk about here on the morning tip-off here on Spreaker. We have, about 6 other games to talk about. We have homecomings for LaMarcus Aldridge in Portland. We also have the Indiana Pacers playing some good basketball. Can the Raptors get back on track? And much more. 407-378-3717. This is the morning tip-off on Spreaker. Let's go pay some bills.
Are you looking for a fun experience on the water with your family? Bring them to the Orlando Water Sports Complex, located off Highway 528 near OIA. The Orlando Water Sports Complex provides an experience you won't soon forget, featuring cable wakeboarding, as well as the Super Air Nautique G23, the world's best wakeboarding and wake surfing boat for guests to enjoy. For more info, visit actionparks.com. That's AKTIONPARKS.com. And tell them Full Court Press sent you.
Listeners, now I know you've heard of this up-and-coming brand Hoop Culture, which is headquartered right here in Orlando, Florida. But here's something that you didn't know. They are opening a flagship store in Fashion Square Mall, downstairs right in front of the movie theater. That's right, the brand that has brought you the iconic Eat Sleep Ball design is bringing their streetwear brand to retail. Stay ahead of the fashion trends. Go visit them online at hoopculture.com or follow them at Hoop Culture. Our listeners save 30% off your next order. Use the code RADIO at checkout.
Looking to expand your reach and following in all platforms of media? Need a jumpstart in expanding your brand to all markets across the world? Sofo is here for you. Sofo means something for everyone, and they help expand your business through all platforms of media. Need to grow on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram? Their experienced team expands your brand and puts your business in places you would have never been before. Call Sofo at 407-607-9862 or follow Sofo LLC on Instagram.
Welcome to Late Night Parents. I'm your host, Ted Hicks. We have a weekly podcast where we sit down and talk with game changers in the sports, technology, education fields. We even do product reviews and giveaways. Why, you ask? Because we're all parents. So if you're ready for an up-close and personal look, then you can check out our podcast. New episodes are available every Thursday. Catch us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. That's Late Night Parents. The site is latenightparents.com.
Are you looking for your dream home? Or are you looking to move out of your current home and find the home to start the next chapter of your life? Look no further. Jim Fouquet with Century 21 Rue Realty is your go-to guy to help you with all your needs. Specializing in West Orange County, Lake County, and Ocoee, his goal is to take care of you from the beginning to the end and is not satisfied until the job is complete. Stop by 401 West Colonial Drive, Suite 7, or give him a call, 321-945-6832. Jim Fouquet with Century 21 Rue Realty.
We are back for the morning tip-off on Spreaker. 407-378-3717 to check in with us this morning. You know, back to the homecomings and games from last night. Like I said, such a busy slate last night. Speaking of homecomings, last night, LaMarcus Aldridge returns to Portland, a place where he played the first 9 years of his career. Aldridge, considered probably one of the greatest, if not one of the top 5 Blazers of all time. Never got a championship. Never really took the team to the playoffs, but Aldridge was always consistent, one of the best players, and really was the last of the original Big Three in Portland when Greg Oden went down for injuries, as well as Brandon Roy. Last night, Aldridge returned back home to his place in Portland, where he played so many years. 23 points, 6 rebounds, and Kawhi Leonard dropped 20 points, 7 rebounds. You know, and the Spurs took care of business 101, 113-101 over the Blazers. Really, the 6 for the Spurs, what we're going to see probably all season. Green, Aldridge, Leonard, Duncan, Parker, Manu, all in double figures. All of them played heavy minutes, not very much heavy lifting. And really, this was a Spurs effort. That was a Spurs effort. They had contributions from so many different guys. And the thing is, we really haven't seen the best David West either. That's just telling you something. David West only played 12 minutes last night, scored 4 points. He's really a guy at this point in the career. This is going to be a garbage guy, a hustle guy. Just make plays and really be an intimidating force. But you have a guy like David West who is putting up solid numbers throughout his career, coming off the bench. With Ginobili and Pop system, it's going to be interesting to watch. Blazers last night, really, they're not that good. Kind of the same thing with the Pistons. That's actually worse than the Pistons because I had the Portland, as the worst team in NBA preseason. It's just other than Philly, but Portland is starting to really get back down to earth. Last night, their backcourt is amazing, very good backcourt, especially for the youth with Lillard and McCallum. Last night they combined for 43 points, but really down the line, Miles Plumlee 9 points, Leonard 7 points, Aminu scored 11, Ed Davis scored 11 in 17 minutes, and Gerald Henderson scored 12. But really, a lot of those points were the Spurs, which is pretty much put away. And Portland's not going to be contending for best team in the NBA. And last night was mostly an emotional game because, when you played 9 years in the city and the city loves you, it's kind of hard to go back to where you came from because you really wanted to win. And Portland, they were a team that were a first or second round team. They weren't going to get past that in the Western Conference, especially with the superpowers ahead of them. Speaking of the superpowers in the Western Conference, the Golden State Warriors, NBA's best team, improves to 9-0. Stephen Curry puts on another show and performance, including the play of the night. If you have not seen the shot, go to Full Court Press Radio on Facebook. The shot's up there. Curry, besides that insane shot, was a three-pointer, one-handed, off balance. I don't think you even call that horse. It just seems like every night Stephen Curry does something that, amazes you, surprises you, and makes you look at the television screen like, wow. Curry last night, 28 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds, 5 steals. Golden State 184 over the Memphis Grizzlies in Memphis. Andre Iguodala, 20 points, Harrison Barnes, 19 points. And here's the thing. They beat the Grizzlies, and Klay Thompson and Draymond Green didn't do much of anything. Klay Thompson last night, 3 of 9, shooting 8 points. Draymond Green, 7 points. Here's the thing. The Warriors are a team that just gets at guys and efforts from different guys every single night. Harrison Barnes, 19 last night, for example. Iggy's 20 last night. They hadn't been scoring very much with those two guys, but last night they helped out Steph Curry last night. And really, the Grizzlies, we have talked about this day after day on this show. They're the NBA's most disappointing team. And until they get somebody in the back of the shoe, this is their season. They're going to continue to keep shooting themselves the foot. Last night, Mike Conley, 12 shooting last night. Courtney Lee, 1 of 7 last night. This is a problem. They didn't have Mario Chalmers. They expect to have him on the weekend, but Mario Chalmers is not George Gervin. He's not going to come in and score 30 points a game. This team, either they made a trade, they need to find somebody in the perimeter now. If you're in the hospital, say the word stat, and don't be a Amari Stoudemire. Look, the Grizzlies are 3-6. I think it's time to put the SOS flag out there because as good as Gasol is 26-7 last night, and Zebo, he's solid. He's going to give you his. I think he had 19 last night and 7 rebounds, 19-7. Look, those two guys can't carry the team, especially offensively, especially with the load they have. The team got 15 from Tony Allen. That should be complimentary, not necessary. They got to find somebody in the perimeter who can score the basketball. I've said this for weeks. Mike Conley needs Joe Johnson. The Grizzlies need Joe Johnson. Figure out a way to make this work. I don't know how they're going to do it. Joe Johnson is the guy that needs to be in Memphis. It's a perfect fit. It's a perfect balance to what the Grizzlies have and what they need. A big shot guy who can score and carry you out of scoring slumps. Because if you're going into the playoffs, like the Grizzlies have the last 4 or 5 years without a score, you're going against at home. They haven't had a score since Rudy Gay was traded to Sacramento a few years ago. They just haven't had the guy to step up. I like Mike Conley, but he's not a scorer. Gasol is a tremendous player all around, but he's not a 20-point game scorer. Zebo can't give you 20 points a game every single night. He's starting to wear it down. He's consistent for about 15, 16, and 10, 11 rebounds a night, but he's not that big scoring threat. He's not that guy on the perimeter that can really stretch out the defense so that they're not packing the paint on Gasol and Randolph. Speaking of the Brooklyn Nets, they finally get off the snide last night, beating the Houston Rockets 106-90 in Houston on the road. You got to give Brooklyn credit. 27-15 in the fourth quarter. Bojan Bogdanovic, yes, hopefully I didn't butcher his name, 22 points off the bench, couple three-pointers, and really, Brook Lopez, 14 points, 12 rebounds. The guy I mentioned, Joe Johnson, 16 points, 7 rebounds, 10 assists. Really, the Houston Rockets blow a game at home to probably the worst team in the NBA other than Philadelphia, other than Lakers. Lakers, Nets, Sixers are fighting for the worst team in the NBA, and you're at home, and unexcusably, the Houston Rockets throw up a dud. I mean, Dwight Howard was brilliant. 20 points, 17 rebounds, 5 blocks, which was, what you expect of Dwight Howard. He has these type of nights. But let's go with James Harden. 23 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. Solid. One problem. He was 8-22 from the floor. Another thing, they bring in Ty Lawson from Denver, who's supposed to be that last missing piece. Lawson, 3 for 11, 5 assists to go along with 8 points, and 4 rebounds. But a negative 10 on the floor. Marcus Thornton was actually brilliant. 21 points, 9-15, 7 assists. Here's the problem. Houston isn't getting anything from Ty Lawson. How do you not get anything from Ty Lawson? Lawson should be having a career year. Lawson, going into this year, was a 14 points, 6 assists type of player every single night. This year, 10 points, 5 rebounds, in an up-tempo system that should benefit and show off his strengths. But right now, all we're seeing weaknesses as Ty Lawson. They didn't get anything from the bench last night. Now, let's be honest, you can't get solid bench play every night, but you only got 8 points from Capella, 4 points from Brewer. Pat Beverly gave you 3 points. You can't win an NBA game when you only score 15 points off the bench. Jason Terry, 0. Terrence Jones, first game back, 0. The Rockets have to figure this out. They're starting to become on that point where it's starting disappointment because the Rockets were expected to be a top 4 team in the West when they made the deal for Lawson, and they pretty much gave nothing in return to Denver but cap space and pay relief. But to start the season, the Rockets, we all know Amani Yunus is out, Terrence Jones hasn't been healthy, neither is Pat Beverly, but really they should be better than this and playing a lot better than this because you do not lose, not just to the Nuggets at home, but you lose to the Brooklyn Nets at home. If anything, if you didn't see the Nets in their first 8-9 games, you know why they're bad. But last night, they played like a solid NBA team last night. Gotta give Shane Larkin credit. 15 points in 22 minutes off the bench. Like I said, Thad Young contributed 13. Jared Jack played just about as bad as Ty Lawson. The only difference is that Ty Lawson is an elite point guard. Not elite point guard, a upper echelon point guard, while Jared Jack is a journeyman. Speaking of guys and the Denver Nuggets, the Nuggets, rough day for the Nuggets, but they won 103-102 over the Milwaukee Bucks. But the injury bug has hit the Nuggets hard. Wilson Chandler had to have hip surgery. He is out for the rest of the season. Sorry for Nuggets fans. Sorry for Chandler. He's a huge loss because the versatility of Wilson Chandler, he's a very good defender. He's very solid shooting the basketball. And he puts up numbers all across the board. And with those numbers across the board, he's very successful